welcome everyone to another episode of Talking Classrooms, your space to reflect, rethink, and reimagine what education looks like and feels like in our everyday lives. I'm your host, Bulelani Marwanqana, and today we are touching on a topic that hits every single one of us, whether you're a student, a parent, a teacher, or just someone trying to make ends meet. Let me start with this question today. How many of us left school understanding how to do a monthly budget, or how credit works, or why compound interest can either build your wealth or bury you in debt? I'll be very honest with you. Personally, I left school with top marks in mathematics and English, but when it came to personal finance, I was learning through trial and error, and sometimes those errors were very, very expensive. So today's episode is all about those financial lessons that should be taught in school but usually aren't. So grab a cup of coffee, get comfortable, and let's have a real conversation about money, school, and why the gap between them is costing us more than we think. So now I want us to begin with talking about the elephant in the classroom, which is financial illiteracy. Now, I know what you might be thinking right now, but we did economics, or life orientation covers some of that, or maybe aren't parents supposed to teach those things? Look man, yes, some schools may touch on financial topics, but let's be honest, many of us leave grade 12 without knowing, number one, how to read pay slips, how to build or check credit score, what tax even is, or how to avoid getting into unnecessary debt. So we are out here memorizing parts of a cell, but nobody tells us how to open a bank account or understand loan interest rates. Why is that? Well, partly it might be because the curriculum is packed, or some teachers themselves weren't trained in personal finance, or because there's still this old school idea that money is a private topic, not something to be discussed in class. But here's the truth. If we are not teaching kids about money, the world will. And the world isn't always kind. So let's go through now the top 10 lessons I believe every learner should leave school knowing, regardless of their background, career path, or where they are from. So number one, budgeting. I mean real budgeting. How do you create a simple monthly budget? How do you track spending? What's the difference between needs and wants? Number two, credit scores. This one is a biggie. How credit works, why missing payments can mess up your future, how to build it slowly. I only learned this in my late 30s after already doing damage. Number three, compound interest. This one could change your life. It can grow your savings or your debt. The earlier you understand it, the better, man. Number four, emergency funds. We need to teach kids that saving is not a luxury, it's a survival. Even 100 rand a month can make a huge difference. Number five, bank accounts and fees. What's the difference between a savings account and a checking account? What fees should you look out for? Number six, reading a payslip. Taxes, UIF, pension. What are these deductions? We need to teach kids before their first job. Number seven, student loans. Understanding debt before signing for it. What's the total cost over time? Can you afford the repayment? Number eight, investing basics. I'm not saying teach them about stock trading. No, I'm saying explain the basics of saving for the long term and how money can grow with time. Number nine, starting a side hustle. Young people are naturally entrepreneurial. So let's teach them how to price their products, keep track of earnings, pay tax. Number 10, delayed gratification. The idea that you don't need to buy everything now. That waiting, planning, and saving leads to better outcomes. Imagine if all grade 9s in the country had weekly lessons on this stuff. Imagine how different our communities would be. Now, let's pause here and talk about what happens when we don't teach these lessons. Here's a typical scenario. It could be maybe a student finishes school, gets their first job, maybe 5,000 a month. They feel rich, right? Because it feels like a lot when you have nothing. You have been earning nothing primarily. So now They buy clothes on credit, open store accounts, buy a phone contract, No one tells them what interest means. They miss payments. Credit score thanks. Later, they want to apply for a car. Rejected. Or offered interest at 27%. It's a cycle. So now, that's not just bad luck. That's systemic educational failure. Because while we are testing for quadratic equation, we are ignoring life equations. And those are the ones that follow us forever. So, whose job is it to teach this? Whose job is it? Should we rely on parents? Sometimes they are financially struggling too, man. So, should teachers be expected to add this to their already full plates? Maybe they'll need training and some resources. What about NGOs, banks, or community organizations? Absolutely. We need partnership. And then, what about the media? What about this podcast we are having today? Informal learning is so powerful. What we need is a national push, something like a financial literacy month or a curriculum update that makes personal finance compulsory from maybe grade 7. Because the truth is, even a 10 rand a day can build wealth if you know what to do with it. If you are still listening, and I hope you are, here's what you can do. Parents, start small money chats with your kids. Explain how you budget. Show them your receipts. Make it normal. Students, you don't have to wait. There's so much free content online. YouTube, TikTok, even podcasts like this one. Teachers, start a finance club at your school. Invite professionals to give a talk. You might be planting seeds that will change lives. Policymakers, if you are in a position of influence, ask why this isn't in the curriculum and push for change. Because money shouldn't be a mystery. It should be a language we all learn very early. So, what have we learned? We have learned that our classroom are producing some of the brightest thinkers, but sending them into the world financially blind. That has to change. That has to change. I say it again, that has to change. As always, I want to leave you with a quote, and today's one is from Suze Oman. Owning your power means learning to live with financial intention. Thank you for tuning in to Talking Classrooms. I'm Bulelani Marwanqana, and I hope today's conversation sparks something in you. Until next time, let's keep asking, why should education really be teaching us?